Hi. Wasn't sure I was on, but I think we're on. Yes, we appear to be up and running, you guys. Once again. Hallelujah. On the other side of the surgery, it went, relatively well, and a lot of it just remains to be seen as to whether the pump is what I need, whether it's functioning properly, whether blah, 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 blah. But so far, I've had 2 nights in a row without pain, so that's huge. And without having to wake up, I'm supposed to be not left alone for a while because, it's unclear kind of how I'm going to react to this or if I fell or whatnot. The gait is not better yet, but I'm using a smaller walker, which seems to work. And I mean, it's kind of rad. I don't know if you can see, but it's a pretty big scar. And I have a pump implanted up there, so that's a little odd, but it's becoming part of me. And the idea is it'll keep the cerebral spinal fluid, which perhaps was in excess, down to it'll just keep pumping it off, and that will improve ultimately my gait and prevent some of the worser symptoms that I haven't developed yet from developing. But there's no, there's like no guarantees, so surprise. Like my neurosurgeon, he's a strange dude. He's very straightforward. Nobody really wants to claim, like he keeps saying, I just did the surgery because your neurologist suggested that you had this condition. And it looked like that to me, so we did it, and there's no guarantee, and it might take up to a year to see the improvements. And so just hang in there. So I'm hanging in there. And I've had my sister here, and my former partner, who's been here 24/7 pretty much 24/7 since the surgery itself, was in the hospital a lot longer than I thought, and 10 days or something, and then got the big discharge. And discharged to home. I'm going to get some help from occupational therapists and stuff like that. So I'm really not alone. I get scared. What happens when I get into a degree of recovery, and what do I do with my life then that makes me tear up? But I think what we do is we just keep soldiering on. I did a reading yesterday, first time, and I think I drew once when I was in the hospital, a few cards, but this was a brilliant reading, and I suspect we'll get something of the same message today, which was just like work with shadow to free yourself, to move forward in a new direction, kind of redefining your own sense of what's holy, not necessarily inside a system, but don't be afraid. So let's see what we get today. Queen of Cups. Again, my lighting is all, I don't know how, I should probably turn this a little bit. Bear with me here while I just see if I can. That's probably a little better for you. It's a little bit in my eyeballs, but let's see. Queen of Cups. That's water energy. That's to do with connection and feelings and open-heartedness. Open-heartedness. Male or female, the one who embodies the ability to love and be loved. It's in the female aspect, which means the receptive, but Queen of Cups is all about the flow. So let's see. Queen of Cups, please. Okay. With King of Pentacles. That's a nice combo. That's a very steady, authentic energy in the masculine aspect, which just means in the active aspect. So this one is able to receive love and give it out again in this kind of flow of water energy. And this is Pentacles energy. It's to do with what's real and established, authentic. King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups is a great balance, and it could be, two people, water sign, earth sign, not necessarily. It could be those two aspects in your own psyche in balance now. Somehow your heart centered, I can receive love. And King of Pentacles, I can give. Pentacles are about giving, about authenticity, about something established and real, earth energy. And Two of Pentacles, there's a card of choice or of balance. This is called sometimes the dance of change. It's a dynamic energy. It's back and forth. It can be a card of consideration, this or that. Dance of change. To me, it indicates like a balance between these two. It can be a card of being on the fence, sort of like which way, which one, weighing the two options that are real. Pentacles energy. Sorry, my nose is running here. Have no hanky. Gonna use my shirt. So yeah, somebody may be weighing up or having come to a decision over time. Pentacles can speak to time as well. So what's the decision? Can you tell us about the decision, please? Hey, mascara. Oh, my sister just gave me a hanky. Empress. Empress, babies. Empress. Card of divine feminine energy, and it's usually Taurus, Libra. So you've got that earth energy here and the Libra energy of balance, of weighing things up, of something dynamic. It's not fixed, there's this sort of rocking back and forth of consideration. But here's the Gaia energy, the mother of us all, the compassionate Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, all those archetypes of the feminine acceptance and love. It's a card of Venus, love itself. And that's under Queen of Cups. That makes a lot of sense. Divine feminine. Doesn't mean gender feminine. I say that all the time, but I think it bears repeating that in tarot, gender is very fluid, and it speaks more to the yin-yang energy, action, reception, which is in balance, right? Ideally. We're not too much this way, we're not too much that way. We find some middle ground. I love it that Empress is here. 3 in major arcana, so it's to do with the psyche, the deep foundational. Yeah. So I'm really tearing up, and I think that's partly this. That's just letting it flow, letting the feelings flow. Cups are all about feelings. So let's see. Tell us about Empress. Oh boy, we got a big wad here. We got Queen of Wands. Just like the minor arcana, it's the highly intuitive seer energy. A Queen of Wands, I tend to say, does not chase. She's established. Wands are kind of do-it energy, but they're also intuitive energy. So she knows what to do on an interior level, and it has to do with action that is, his ears are familiar down here, the little black cat. Action that is intuitive and draws things to her. So we have Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. both in the feminine aspect of Empress. So Queen of Wands is a kind of, I don't chase. I'm established. Neither does Empress chase. It doesn't go in pursuit of an external validation. And here we have Eight of Cups. In that same Cups energy as the Queen of Cups. And Eight of Cups is to go on in search of something. Sometimes leaving something behind. You're on a quest. This one actually has the wand like the walking stick. And all these cups that are left behind are not unloved. And again, it just makes me tear up. And that's partly this, it like cracks you open. It can make you very vulnerable emotionally, but that's sort of how I roll anyway. So Eight of Cups could be leaving something behind. Could be an earlier idea of yourself. Could be like, I don't chase. I'm moving on. In search of Cups energy, another connection, a higher connection, higher love, something like that. But it's a quest. It's a quest card. And quest being the search, and also quest the question. And the consideration. Do I go? Do I stay? On Empress, we have Hierophant. That's an interesting combo. Another major arcana card. Also, Earth energy, Taurus. So we have Taurus twice here. Taurus and in the Empress as well, Libra. Hierophant is a card of higher power. It can be tradition. It could be, even sometimes a kind of hierarchical, as Hierophant, hierarchical, who's at the top of the heap. This person wearing the hat has the knowledge and knows. But Queen of Wands would say, it's in me. I don't need to go in search of this external validation or external answers. But there is a card of in search of here. So let's see. On Eight of Cups, is it this? This is Three of Cups. That's a card of celebration, of coming together with friends. It can be a literal reunion of some sort. So whatever this person is in search of, it's a positive clarifier here. Like a promise of the possibility of reunion and reconciliation in that Three of Cups. And on Queen of Cups, we have Justice. That's a card of Libra. It's air energy. It's to do with the mind. It's to do with perception. It can be to do with a decision. But it's fair and it's balanced. It's something that you, I was going to say take to heart, and maybe it is heart and head in balance. The scales are here. In the Libra card. And this again, a card of balance and decision. So there may be a decision to be made, or something that has been made, that entailed leaving something you love behind, which makes me want to cry again. But do we ever, it seems to me we take it with us. It's got the full moon in the Eight of Cups card. And I think we're just now, I haven't been really following but I think we're just now coming up on another full moon. It's waning, says my sister. Okay, we've got at least two. Is it this as well? Okay, we've got Five of Wands. That's a card of, it can be contention, of trying to work something out. Fives indicate a need for change. And This could be the struggle to make a change. You know, when they're vying ideas of how to do something, one's energy, how to do it. And nobody's really getting their way here. It's the struggle, perhaps, to make the decision. It could be outside influences, kind of putting a finger on the scale of the justice, because this keeps looking to me like the scales. Justice is a card of choice, or of decision. So is Two of Pentacles, card of decision. All right, what have we got else? On Queen of Wands, we have Six of Swords. That's a card of movement in sword energy. In sword energy. Like that Libra Justice card. This is to a calmer state of mind. It marks that liminal space of crossing over, like you're not on the far shore yet. You're on your way to a new way of perhaps perceiving or thinking about something. And that's clarifying Queen of Wands. So while Queen of Wands is an intuitive, not stay put energy, but just I don't go in pursuit of. I know I have it internally. There is this movement in the head or in the perception, in sword energy, towards something calmer and more peaceful. Perhaps out of this card, basically a card of conflict. It's not a bad thing. This is working it out. This is, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, let's work it out. Let's work out this decision, let's come to a consensus maybe. And then on King of Pentacles, we have Strength. That's lovely. It's a card of Leo. Fire energy. You know, to me, the Strength card is always a card of compassion. This is like the wounded, you know, the lion in Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel goes into the lion's den, which is a very brave thing to encounter the beast who's in pain and could well, attack. But Daniel goes in and he finds the splinter in the lion's paw and he pulls it out. And that's a little bit like this. Going into the cave with the lion in order to alleviate your pain because you have great compassion. And that's on King of Pentacles, the card of the giver, the card of the caretaker. So I don't even know what to say, folks. We got a lot of major arcana here, so there's a lot happening on the level of the psyche, kind of the underpinning to this daily, how our lives unfold, which are the minor arcana. Queen of Cups, Six of Swords, Queen of Wands, Eight of Cups, Three of Cups, Five of Wands, Two of Pentacles. I mean, it's weird to recap, plus the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of energy both in the 3D, how it's expressed in our daily lives, but there's this incredibly strong underpinning of psychic energy of really positive cards. We have the Hierophant, Higher Power, Empress, Justice, Strength. And I don't know what the summation is. Is it this? Okay, we have Six of Wands. More fire energy. That's a card of victory. You know, working it out. Something's been worked out. This struggle, this need for change. Something's been accomplished. Something to be proud of. This can be a card scene of sort of ego. The guy coming back from the battle victorious on his high horse. But there's the victory wreath. Something's been accomplished. Something's been done, all that fire energy, and it may be just this. by means of compassion for ourselves and for each other. And that's the 8 in Major Arcana, and this is the 8 in Minor Arcana. Sometimes to leave what we love behind, or what we think is behind, is actually a way of moving forward. Once we change our mindset, it's not an abandonment here. Okay, 6 of Wands, this card of victory, having done it. Page of Wands, I love that. That was in the other reading I was talking about that I did earlier. That's the new way, page energy, the youthful energy, a new direction, a trailblazer, a new way of doing something, or a new inspirational energy. It's very young and very fresh. Can be considered immature, but I think in this context, it's really just like the courage it takes, the strength, the perseverance, the compassion to move forward in a new direction. Out of this conflict of 5 of Wands into some sort of victorious new path. We're always having to blaze the new path, right? Whether it's a neural pathway in the brain or whether it's just the first step in a new direction, we're always, whether we like it or not, we're always kind of forced onto that new, every step of the way is new. Is it this? It is. Queen of Pentacles. So we have a match for the king here. Queen of Pentacles is, to my mind, the Minor Arcana version of one of them, of the Empress. The Empress is all the queens, and we have here 3 out of the 4. The 4th being the Queen of Swords. Sometimes the one that's not here is a presence by virtue of not appearing on the board. Queen of Swords being very decisive, somebody who makes the decision, who's clear-cut, who knows their truth, who's no bullshit, who wouldn't, who would weigh things up in terms of personal truth and make the decision. So she may be here kind of as a presence, even though she hasn't shown up as a card on the board. But Queen of Pentacles is that earth energy aspect of Empress, caretaking, loving, accepting, authentic. And we have the Queen and the King paired here. And now I can't see where is the King. Didn't I have the King? Yeah, here he is. So I think whether this is two parties or in your own psyche, the balance of the two, there is a good match in 3D, in Pentacles energy, in terms of daily life. Is it this? Oh my God. This is a crowded field. Hey, we got the King of Wands. This is I know how to do it. Masculine energy of Wands. I know how to do it. I know what to do. Here I go. Very confident. Wands energy, solar plexus. I know how to do a little bit, not bossy, but very self-assured, very confident, but also a match to the Queen. So there are a lot of, I think this is principally within your own psyche, your own sense of how to do things, how to get it done, but also balanced by this internal aspect of your feminine energy of receptivity to the creative impulses of the universe, which sounds highfalutin, but it's not. It's all about this sort of 3D struggle. How do we do it? And how we do it is dynamic. It's not like there's a, here's the formula, here's how you do it, kids. Wouldn't it be nice? I don't know. Maybe it would be nice. But that's not life on this plane, on this planet at this time. Is it this? 9 of Cups. That's a card of self-fulfillment. It's in Cups energy, so it's to do with love and connection and satisfaction, can be a card of indulgence, but it's just like knowing, you know, nines speak to the personal, knowing who you are, knowing who you love, knowing what you love, and being satisfied by maybe by your connections. And here we go, Three of Pentacles, that's a card of cooperation. It sort of doubles down on the 3D because it's Three of Pentacles, that earth energy, that what's real, what we can create, what we can build together. 3D, Three of Pentacles, Three of Earth. And again, it's a dynamic card because we're always in the process of building. Fool. Another earth energy card. Fool is of Aries, unless my brains deceive me. It's the first card in the major arcana. The one who's willing to take the leap. Here we go, the nose is running again. Willing to take the leap. Having faith. Taking that first step off the edge. It's the psyche, it's the beginning, it's this. Also in fire energy. The first step. First step. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. That's kind of the same idea. The Fool is the 0 card. It can be considered risky or like, didn't I say, immature? It is the baby of the major arcana, the 0. But it, you know, it also takes this great courage, and because it's taking a leap into the unknown, which we do all the time. It's like that leap of faith. Okay, you guys, we're going to end with the first card in the major arcana, the Fool card. The willingness to take the leap into your own life, basically. It's life force energy, that Wands energy. That's solar plexus energy. Let's do it. Let's begin. Let's begin again. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.